For those of you that may not know, Elizabeth is a Nickel Fellowship recipient. How does it feel to have come this far in that amount of time?
There really are not words. I'm. It's quite emotional to be back here in this theater and upstairs where we had our committee lunch that day 3 years ago when I won the
Yeah.
fellowship with my four fellows, and then had the big presentation here, and to be here with this movie is pretty profound. I don't know how it all happened, but here we are. So
Well, we're so happy to have you back on our stage.
thank you.
In Hollywood life cycle, it's probably feels a little fast from 2015 to now. Here you are back with that script back on the screen. That maybe you've lived with it so long it doesn't feel fast, but I think that's fantastic.
Thank you so much. It was a 7 year endeavor, I think, since the day that I wrote the first draft.
Okay.
And it was an all consuming 7 years
I'm sure.
endeavor. So it feels incredibly short, but also incredibly long.
Yeah.
A long letting go of something that I wasn't ready to let go of in the first place. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but thank you.
I also read an interview with you where you said the inspiration for this story hit me like lightning. So, would you tell us kind of exactly what happened and what was that thunderbolt?
Sure. My grandmother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's when I was 21, and she battled the disease for 17 years. She just passed away in June. But I was so unexpectedly taken by the fact that we laughed so much, that it was. I was so devastated by that diagnosis, and I just thought it was like our fun was over. How could anything ever be fun and funny again? And growing up in Chicago with a bunch of uncles that like teased us all so much, and we laughed our way through everything except church. Um, to lose that was devastating, and I just was surprised at how funny everything was. And so I had been kind of musing about something I wanted to like write her and capture that spirit, that tone, something about it. How funny, and then all of a sudden she'd turn on a dime and break your heart. And then my grandfather died really suddenly, very much like in the film. She was right at that place where he could no longer really take care of her and no longer really deny that he couldn't take care of her. And he just died, not quite as suddenly as in the movie, but he just passed away of a broken heart, I think. And I was at his funeral listening to the eulogy my mom gave, which was very similar to this eulogy, and just being like, well, this is a movie. Someone here is making this movie. And then looking around the church in Illinois, looking for who that person would be. It didn't occur to me then that it would be me. I thought it was supposed to be somebody else. And then I was supposed to like run up to them and say, oh, you're making this movie. Didn't you know? And it wasn't until 6 months later when I thought, I don't think anyone's doing this, that I decided to write that first draft. So
Well,
yeah, that's the
well
story.
done.
Yeah.
Robert, if ever a character was suited to an actor or vice versa, it is you and Bert. And I'd like to know when you read the script for the first time, what did you think and what did you feel?
I have only seen this picture twice, and you've seen it a lot of times, but was struck by how good every actor in this picture was. Start with Thaisa. God, she was good. And so was Blythe, and so was Hillary and Michael. I am just amazed at how good the actors are. And the reason that they are, one of the reasons they are good, two of the reasons they are good, is because you wrote a wonderful movie. And when I read it, I could hear it in my mind. I could speak those words. They come from Chicago, and I'm from Rochester, New York, which is not that far away. It's along the Great Lakes. The accent is very similar, and um, and because you have a real It's a grace that a lot of directors do not have, and it gives the actor the feeling that the words they are saying are their own, that they are the authors of those words. And they aren't, of course. You wrote them. There were tiny little things that might have slipped into the heads and the tails of scenes, as we all understand how movies are made. But the script was yours, and I could tell from the very first read that it was a wonderful script. I have been, listen, I'm 53 years in this business, and something like this does not plop into your lap only once in a great while, and this is surely the best role that I have ever had drop into my lap.
Also, in your acceptance speech, you said that it was so validating to be recognized for your writing because it helped with the fear, and you said that fear is the Grinch who stole creativity. Do you feel like now maybe that Grinch has been beaten back a little bit?
No.
No?
Oh my God. No. Is it ever? I don't know. You guys tell me. Is it ever gone, the fear of feeling like you blew it, or feeling the fear of like, oh no, if I take this step, I don't. No, the fear is every morning I wake up terrified. It's just that I think making this movie for me felt like a giant coming of age. And part of what I always talk about in this film is like that you come of age at every part of it. There's not one coming of age at 17. I don't think. I didn't know anything at 17. I don't know anything now. So making this movie definitely felt like a coming of age. And just, I think when we're young and we're new in this creative landscape, there's such a mysticism around Hollywood, right? And the sense that we don't belong. And I'm not sure that ever goes away. But this helped me, for sure, just run into the face of that, right? Like just face fear. It's courage is the answer, not fearlessness.
Robert, you've been at this a long time. What do you think about managing the fear of creating and being a part of things like this?
In 1968, I worked with Gregory Peck on a picture that's 50 years ago right now. And I asked him a couple of questions. I said, how do you get into the Academy? He was the president of the Academy, I think, at the time. And he said, you need more credits. And I said, and how do you pick material? And he said, when I was a young actor, I did not know the answer to that. And I asked a couple of actors that I knew. He said, I asked Montgomery Clift, who said, you do not take everything they offer you. You are very careful about what you select. You think about it, you feel it, you live it through, you sleep on it, you take your time, and you do not rush into something. And Gregory Peck said, and I also asked Gary Cooper, how do you pick material? And Gary Cooper said, you do everything they hand you. You never stop working. You never pass up a day's work. And Gregory Peck said, and in general, they both had about the same number of hits. So it doesn't matter how you do it. Only once in a great while does something this good drop into your lap. I've said that before, and it's true. And Gregory Peck then 5 years later, was my sponsor into the Academy. So I was, I'm mighty grateful to be a member of this organization.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.